Hey everyone, and welcome to this video. I'm InksLaura123, and last week one of my viewers emailed me and asked me if I didn't mind doing a video on grief, how to cope with grief. And if you want me to be completely honest, I was unsure if to do this video for them or not. Simply because I love you all so much, and I always say, you know, if you ever need me, I'm here for you, and I genuinely mean that. However, I'm not trained, you know, I'm not qualified, I'm not a counsellor, so that was kind of holding me back from doing this video because I didn't want to say like the wrong thing, especially on such an important subject like grief. But I had to think about it and I thought, you know what, I'm not trained, but I've been through it, you know, I've been through grief, and a lot of you watching have probably been through it as well. So you've just got to kind of be there for other people. And I thought, look, I'm not trained and qualified, but I'm going to try my best to do a video, and I hope it helps the person who wrote to me and also anyone else who's watching as well. So yeah, what I've done is gone online and I found this picture, and it's basically it says coping with grief, and all around it is different tips and advice on how to help cope with grief. Also, I'm going to talk a little bit about my kind of my loss of my grandma and granddad and how that affected me. So my granddad died first many years ago, so it's about 20 years ago now, and my grandma died about 6 years ago, and I was very close to my grandma and granddad. I always go on about them. If you're a regular viewer on my channel, you'll know that I always like drop them in and mention them and stuff because they were such a huge part of my life. When my mum and dad used to go to work, you know, they'd look after me and they pretty much raised me, you know. But they were both wonderful people, very different characters, but they just bonded, like they just gelled so well. They were married for like 50 years or something. My granddad was very loud and confident and, you know, just fun. That's the main word I think of. When I think of my granddad, it's just fun. He was so fun. He was silly. He'd always sit and play games with me. Even if he was tired, I'd be like, Granddad, can you play a game with me? Can we play Ludo? Can we play card games? Can we play this? And he'd be like, okay. He was just very fun to be around. And my grandma, you know, was the more sensible one. I mean, she could be fun, don't get me wrong, but she was the more sensible one. She'd teach me, you know, my times tables, how to spell and all that kind of serious stuff. But yeah, they were just both amazing people, and I miss them terribly. And even to today, like I feel like I just want to call them up, have a chat with them on the phone. Like if something happens, I want to just ring them and say, oh, guess what, Grandma? Guess what, Granddad? And when I walk past where they used to live, I still kind of look, and I don't know why, but I know they're not there, but I feel like they're still there in a way. And it just kind of upsets me every time I walk past there. And I just think, I wish I could just go in, have a cup of tea, and have a chat. And you can't, and it's still, like they say, time's a healer, and I think to a degree time is a healer. However, I still feel so much pain when I think about it. It just makes me, I don't know, I can't describe it. I don't think I'll ever get over losing them because they were just so close to me, and I don't know. I mean, you have to cope. You have to get on with your life. That is, you know, the thing. And I always think my grandma, granddad would be so kind of angry with me if they saw me moping about and moaning and stuff. They just want me to be positive and get on with stuff. And they were both strong characters. And I just, you know, when I get low and when I feel depressed about them and I miss them and stuff, I think, come on, they would not want me sitting here like this. They'd be like, come on, Laura, stop being silly, you know, you'll be fine. But yeah, so we've all, I think, well, not all of you, but I think most of you watching this have you know, had to deal with grief at some point, and it's tough. It makes you feel awful. It's very sad. It's just, I can't even explain that emotion. And I think even when people kind of know it's going to happen, obviously if a person's had a long-term illness and then, you know, they pass on, you kind of think, oh, you know, the family, they've been prepared for it. But even then, I don't think you're ever really prepared until that happens. You know what I mean? I don't think it ever hits you until it really just happens. I don't know. I'm not very good at this, am I? But I don't know. Grief is a horrible thing. And I'm just going to read from this now because I'm just rambling and I'm not very helpful in this situation, am I? Okay, so this is some advice on how to help with grief. So first of all, accept your feelings and express them. And I definitely agree with that because, you know, I've known some people who, when they've lost people, they just don't want to talk about them. They don't talk about it. They don't mention it. They're just like, no, don't talk about it. And maybe that works for some people, but I think deep down it's not a good thing. I think if you block it all in, and hold it all in, it's not good for you. I think get it out, talk about it. I mean, me and my mum always said that we'd always talk about grandma and granddad. You know, it was always going to be, we didn't want to ever be to a point where we didn't want to talk about them. And I think the more you talk about your feelings and the more you talk about memories and good times that you had with your families, it kind of keeps them alive in a weird way. Do you know what I mean? Like when we talk about, oh, do you remember when we did this with grandma? Oh, that was so funny. And granddad, you know, when we went out with granddad and we did that, it's just kind of keeping them with us still, and it's keeping their spirit alive. I don't know. I think talking about it and expressing how you feel is good. Don't block your feelings in. It says reach out for support and consider counselling. So when my granddad died, I did actually have counselling. I was just in bits. Like I mean, I was very, very, very close to my grandma as well. But I think maybe it's because I was younger. I don't know. Maybe it's because I was a granddad's girl. I don't know. But when granddad died, I literally went to pieces. It was very, very bad depression, and I did have to have counselling and blah blah blah. So I think it's really good if you know, just get that courage up to say, you know what, I need some help. I need some help here. There's nothing wrong with admitting you need help. There's nothing wrong in going to get help. Counselling, there's so many different organisations, you know, in the areas that you live, that there's always someone there to help, someone to call up, someone to visit, someone to give you professional help, okay? When my grandma died, I didn't get counselling, but I did have quite bad depression as well. And that's when I'd actually discovered like ASMR. You know, I've got my other channel, Minxler123 ASMR. Just saying, check it out. Little promotion there, but anyway. But no, that is when I discovered ASMR, because I was having all these like horrible thoughts. And when my grandma died, I know this is really morbid, but I was having like really horrible nightmares of her in a coffin. And like every night I'd go to bed and just, I don't know, obviously it was on my mind, but it was really like messing me up and I couldn't sleep. So I turned into a bit of an insomniac. And that's when I discovered ASMR videos, because, you know, they help me sleep, they help calm me down, because I was getting like panic attacks and stuff. But yeah, I'm rambling again, aren't I? But yeah, please reach out and get support. Next thing is try to keep your routine up. Yeah, very, very important. Try and keep your routine up in life, because, you know, when tough stuff happens, we end up kind of, or sometimes we end up just blotting everything else out, not doing this, not going here, not getting up on time, you know, so our routine kind of goes out of the window, because obviously the grief takes over. But I think by doing that and not kind of keeping with your routine, it's kind of putting your mind like, or wishy-washy. You need to just focus what you've got to do, when you've got to do it. And I think the more normality you have in your life, I think that does help. You know, I mean, when Granddad died, I couldn't go to work or anything. I was just in bits. I was just like, nah, not going anywhere, not doing anything. And, you know, as soon as I got stronger again and I started getting up and going to work again and just kind of doing my thing, I think reality kind of comes back a bit. Because I think as much as you shut it out, once you start getting back into that real world and your routine, I think it definitely helps you just get back to feeling a bit more kind of yourself again, you know. It says prioritise your eating and sleeping. Yeah, definitely. It's really, really important that you eat and that you sleep and that you look after yourself in general. You know, I know, look, I'm saying all this stuff and I'm like, oh, it's easier said than done, isn't it? But it's true. Like if you don't take care of yourself, like if you starve yourself or if you don't get to sleep properly, it makes you feel crap, doesn't it? And your loved ones wouldn't want that. Do you know what I mean? And if you can't look after yourself, you're not going to be able to cope with everyday life. You've got to look after you, okay? So make sure you eat properly. Even if you don't feel like it, you know, make sure you have some food and drink and get some good sleep and relaxation and, you know, make sure you look after you, basically. It says allow yourself time to mourn. Definitely. I think some people try and rush it. They try and think, right, now I'm fine. I mean, my mum, I hope she can't hear me. No, she's downstairs, but she can't hear me, I hope. But my mum, bless her, I love my mum to bits, you know that, but she didn't cope well with, you know, grandma, granddad were her mum and dad, right? She didn't cope well with that at all. She bottled things up, and also she kind of just, I don't know, she kind of just wanted to get on with it. Like, there's nothing wrong with, as I just said, getting back into your routine, but hey, give yourself a little bit of time to just, you know, process what's going on, and grieve and just feel sad, get those emotions out, cry. But my mum just, I don't know, she didn't, both times when Grandma and Granddad passed, she just kind of got on with it, and I could hear her crying on her own, like in bed, and I'd come in and I'd go like, you all right, do you want to talk, do you want to cuddle? No, I'm all right, I'm fine, it's like, I'm just being silly. And you know, I think that is her kind of way of coping. I don't know, but for me, I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to cry, I'm going to be sad, and I don't care how long it takes. Obviously there becomes a limit. You don't want it to go on and on and on. You do want to get back to living your life eventually, but yeah, I think there's has to be that time to grieve for yourself. Get it all out your system. Cry as much as you want, honestly, please. Some people get embarrassed about crying, male and female. They feel like it's weak to cry. It's not weak to cry. It's more weak if you don't cry. It's more weak if you bottle it all up and don't let it out. You know, just let it out. Let yourself mourn. Let yourself cry. It says treasure and celebrate the lives of your loved ones. Yeah, I mean, definitely celebrate them. Definitely. Always think of the good things, the good times, the good stuff. You know, we've got lots of photographs of my grandma and granddad all around the house, and we've got like a big photo box with their pictures in and stuff. And, you know, sometimes we just sit and look at it and we laugh and we smile, and it's just like memories, and you celebrate good things about them, good things they did, good things they said, good things about their characteristics. Always celebrate your loved ones and remember them, you know. It says avoid substance use to numb yourself, yet try not to, look, I'm not like a professional, but please try not to go to stuff that is not good for you, all right? And you've got to tell yourself, as easy as it is, yeah, I'm just going to go and get drunk, or I'm just going to go and, you know, don't do it, because your loved ones would not want you to harm yourself in any way, okay? Just remember that. When you go and do something, just remember they wouldn't want that for you. It says, be patient with yourself. Mourning takes time. Exactly. Don't rush that process. Just let it happen. Heal naturally. However long it takes, just do it at your own pace, okay? And then move forward. Remember that life is for the living. Yeah, I mean, you're still here. You are still here. You've got to live. You've got to have a good life. You've got to do the best you can to be happy. It says write and reflect in a journal. Writing is so good for the soul. I love writing. I find it very therapeutic to just sit and write, whether it's poetry or stories or just getting your words out. So get a journal, just write how you're feeling. Talk about the loss with someone you trust. Yeah, always find someone that you can trust, whether it's a friend, family member, partner, you know, etc. You can just talk to them. Talk to them about how you feel. Please don't bottle it up. That is my main thing. Don't keep it all inside and feel like you can't talk to them. And there's always someone who's there to listen and, you know, just, you know, talk to people. Don't hold it inside. I don't think I've missed any of these. Don't make big decisions in the midst of grief. Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you've got big decisions to make, try and hold off for a little bit until you're, you know, a bit stronger in yourself, feeling a bit brighter, because you could make completely wrong decisions because, you know, let's face it, your mind's not going to be with it as much as it is because, you know, you're going through a tough time. So if you can, if it's possible, put those bigger decisions off until you're ready to cope with things better and make better choices. So there you go. I hope that helped in some way. I feel like, I don't know, I hope it's helped, but I feel like paranoid because I'm not trained and I don't want to be sitting here saying stuff and a qualified counsellor will be like, no, you shouldn't say that. But I just talk from the heart. Obviously I've read those out, but, you know, personally, I'm just talking from the heart. I miss my grandma and granddad so much. I'm a spiritualist. I do believe in life after death, and I honestly believe that my grandma and granddad are here when we need them, especially. Like, if we're going through some tough times, we always have like paranormal activity stuff happen, and I genuinely believe that's because my grandma and granddad are kind of picking up on that energy that we're either ill or we're going through tough times, and then things start to happen, like paranormal around the house. So for me personally, I do believe in life after death. I am a spiritualist, and I believe that, you know, our loved ones are always there in some way. And that kind of gives me strength to carry on as well and to cope, because I think, well, they're still here. They're still here in some way. I wish I could see them. Like, I wish I could give my grandma and granddad a big cuddle, but I can't, unfortunately. But just to know that I feel that they're there in spirit, in some form of energy, even that helps me a little bit, you know. But But yeah, if you've got any tips, advice on how to cope with grief, you know, if you just want to comment down below, that'd be amazing. Like, I want more people to get involved in the comments on this type of video, because the more people who comment, each person that reads through the comments, and I know a lot of you do read through comments, because I do. Whenever I go on someone's video, I do like to read through the comments. You know, something like this, the more comments that are left, the more people who are reading them can get help and advice and tips and stuff. So please, you know, share your personal experiences. You know, if you've lost someone, talk to me about it. How did it make you feel? How did you move on? And just, yeah, just be honest and open about your feelings, you know, and be there for one another. My channel is filled with amazing people, so let's all help each other. Right, I better go because my camera battery is dying. Mwah. I love you all so much. Please subscribe. Take care. Lots of love. Bye.